kind of scout you out today.
Oh, really?
Keep a steady hand.
Okay.
Chuck.
This is.
Chuck.
Yes.
Chuck, do you want to be shot or something?
We've got two of them. Both Chuck. We've got both behind the cameras. Just ignore them. It's okay. Exactly. They're going to do it. That's right. You're all going to be on the film. Yes, I'll get away.
No, Mom. Sit here.
Virgin, no matter where you go, you'll get your picture
Exactly,
taken.
Mom.
So you might as well
They're
just
relentless. So.
Big, yeah. Say something.
Well, I wonder, I guess the
Say, Joe, that's a great show.
Share with.
No, not now.
She's going to bring.
So many people. I do, I mean. More sugar.
Are you going to put more sugar in there, Pepper?
Uh-oh, Patrick.
No. I thought it tasted
Child.
I don't think so. Everybody's lost their key at one point during this couple of days.
And it was, I had Chuck hold everything out of my purse, and there was the key between two pieces of paper.
Well, I said we should have all gotten like chains and kept our
That's right. We should all be wearing them around our necks.
some yarn and we could all have it around our neck.
And my name is.
That's why I brought my purse. I hardly ever take it anymore.
Keep everything right and ready. Well, Regina, I heard you had espresso this morning. You're getting quite oriental. You and I said, Chuck, get your jeans on and go out.
And here, I was wandering around dying for a cup of coffee.
Oh, gee.
What are you doing? To the right place. Well, finally.
Then you called me.
Right?
You look great.
Diane, oh my goodness, so nice to have you here.
Why did you get three
And we're going to the dentist next week.
You know, he's good about how many bags. And he'll be on. Essentially, we don't want you to get sick. That would make you sick drinking it. Oh, good.
Oh, I don't.
Partied a little.
Jessie, did you want some coffee? Are you sure? Okay. Yeah, George is right over here. Keep it at the same time as Mary and Joe. Hello here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. And Bart,
I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm so glad.
Where's your son? don't think I've ever met him. I don't think so. Right, Patrick?
That's cousin Joe.
Nice to meet you. And Jess, boy, it's been a long time since I've seen you. How are you doing? Do you like Arizona? It's too hot. It's probably much hotter than Iowa.
Yeah, she loves swimming.
Yeah. How much opportunities did you have there? At your resort?
No more.
The way he was before he started, then he would have loved it.
That's great. Seems like a
It's nice, it's got like 3 or 4.
Well, I haven't seen you.
It's, you know, it's like,
Taking all that. Hi, Joe.
You're tickled.
Hi, nice to see you.
Boy, your girls are
The girls,
big.
Allison and Emily. And Jessie. Hi there, how are you today?
Hi, Joe. Nice to see you again.
She's
Big boy. Very big. That was great.
I tell you, if you try, you stay right here.
yeah, she found Rihanna pants last night. But she should, well, she knows where this is, I think. Oh yeah, she knows where, she's the one who made the reservation. So she'll be here any minute. Die hard.
We went to his travel place. We didn't know if we were in the right place either.
We came in the back way and I got here better than I. But this might have been the place. Classroom, but it doesn't look familiar. And I don't remember where it was. I remember years ago. I'm here. All the men. It's a swell place.
Where are you going to sit?
Yeah, but anyway, okay. How are you? If we all sit down, he says,
I don't know why they don't sing together.
We're at a party, yeah, so that's the kids' territory. Like that's what we're
oh, yeah, she
Yeah, how about Patrick?
I remember. Not particularly you're not friendly with the dog. Did you just get here?
No, we came in yesterday.
Mom, we've been chatting all. How are you?
Mom, you want to come over and sit here? He's at this point where he doesn't talk to the dog. He does. Yeah, I just decided that he doesn't want to.
Well, they're changing. Mom, oh, here, I thought I took your seat.
I'll sit here. Okay, Mom, Barbie, you sit here. I'll go sit by you.
All right, I gotta go check the charger.
There's Mary. Oh, good.
Oh.
Someone needs to sit in.
Yeah.
Stick it in there. Take it in
It's so good. I'm so good. And Barbara.
Oh, good. Okay, that'd be perfect.
I know you're hungry. You guys have plenty.
Yeah, we got actually
Wonderful.
I was gonna come last so this, you know.
Yeah, it's.
We wandered around, I won't go to the hospital.
Right, prior to that, I was working in the transit system. That's where I was working with that side job. Basically, public relations.
Oh, we'll sit down.
Me too, let's see.
Does everyone know? We don't, I don't think we are out. Oh, they have children. Does everybody know then what the kids are gonna get?
Telephone, Mary.
And a blog. I don't know what mine
We have some children that have not come back. They went to so they were supposed to.
You always look for a dark color.
Grandmother, did you hear what the choices are?
And you, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're safe with that.
Does it translate?
I got a lot of training when I was.
I'm gonna head, unfortunately.
They go.
Okay.
I know it's just a little thing, but you know, I wait always for Jerry Seinfeld on television. 8 o'clock on Thursday. I always say, don't touch us. Don't, because he talks all the time during the program. Every Thursday night he comes 5 days. About time for Jerry Seinfeld. And I
He wants to watch it.
with us. And he's got his own. And I wouldn't mind if he watched it if he would keep quiet. So I always say, Dick, don't talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's kind of a cool. Well, our hottest years are pretty much fall.
Whatever you're, well, we came out to a convention and when you're all in our aisle, if I hadn't had layers where I could take, you know, and just.
Memorial weekend, it should be summer, it should be nice and warm.
I didn't know.
And we should get to wear short clothes, and all kids. Not much. Sweaters a lot.
Remember when you won the black velvet dress? Remember that years ago?
Diane. Barbara made one.
Barbara made.
Barbara made a, I was thinking about that when I was making this,
Yeah.
that she made you a black velvet dress.
But you gotta be awful careful, cause they pull out at the seams.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm getting tired.
I'm on coffee.
Oh,
Would you like some more coffee,
no,
Mom?
thank you. No,
Okay.
Diane, I really don't want anything.
I think I'll go home on 5.
At, well, okay, Mother, it's 10 after 4.
Maybe 4.
It's after 4.
What'd you say?
It's 10 after 4.
Yeah.
Now remember, if you need something tonight, Mary's in the park.
Yeah. I'm home.
Yeah, and well, I just want you to know, because Mary is gonna, she's determined now, you know, to be on duty too.
Yeah, she'll
Yeah.
be there for you.
Mary
Mom.
said she's on duty now. She said, I waited while your mother got her hair done the other day.
Oh, my soul.
And so she's gonna be awful good to you, Mother.
Well, she's always been good to me.
Yeah.
And you're good for her too, because you keep her active and not feeling
Oh.
sad, you know.
When Mother and I would go to Iowa, Mother always got Mary the nicest gift, didn't you, Mother?
Yeah.
One time, well, Mary was collecting,
Well, one time
was
I gave
Z.
$100 for the,
zebra, wasn't it?
what was some
It
kind.
was a zebra, I think. You know, it was crouched down on the floor and stood about this high.
Wow.
Yeah, and Mary was collecting them, and wasn't with them that time, and
Well, I'd stay with Mary and Bob,
Mhm.
and Virginia would stay with Joel,
George.
or
Yeah.
George.
Yeah, it just worked out just
Wow.
fine. It just worked out perfect, and then oh, Bob would take time. He was working,
Uh-huh.
and he'd take time off from work, and we really had a good time.
Wow.
We really had. And then sometimes George and I would go up to Emmitsburg. And one time, Diane, I said, George, how about if we see if we can go through Grandma Catel's house?
Oh.
And George said, okay. Jessie was a baby, and
Uh-huh.
Barbara said, I'll stay in the car with Jessie. So we went up to the door, and I said, I told that Judy Hill, Mother, how you used to live there in Grandma Catel's house. In Grandma Catel's house, you know.
Yeah, who lived in Grandma's? My mother.
Judy Hill, when George and I
I
went
didn't
through
know.
it.
Yeah.
And she was so nice. All I had to do was say my name in Emmitsburg,
And they all knew
Come
you.
on in. Come on
They
in.
knew the McNamara's.
Yes. Just mention McNamara or Appleby.
Oh.
And so George and I went through the whole house. And remember that living room on the north off the living, well, they had a second living room off the living room.
Right, right.
On the north.
Where the piano was.
Yes.
Remember we used to play the piano and you used to sing your hymns, Mom?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's where I learned all your hymns. Yeah.
And so anyway, Mother took that partition out.
Uh-huh. I remember that.
Okay. Well, then these people put it back in.
Yeah, Lord, sorry I took it out.
Yeah.
It was a heavy wooden door, sliding
Yeah,
door, wasn't
yeah.
it? Yeah. It was
Well, they
very
put the
beautiful.
partition back because they had
Just
five
think I stayed there 2 years,
by yourself.
and I sure didn't like it.
Oh.
But that big
house.
screened-in porch.
Oh, it was so beautiful.
Yeah, George always says that it's an old house, Chuck, with a big screened-in porch and everything where my grandparents lived, and then Mother and Dad stayed there to look after Grandma. And, but when the grandparents were alive, we used to take turns staying because it was closer to the 7th and 8th grade school. And since I was the oldest, I got to stay there more. I loved staying with them. I loved it. Remember, I got to stay more with Grandma than anybody else. And every morning, Grandpa would come in. I was about 8th grade. And he'd say, what's your order this morning? And he always wanted me to say,
They were always so tickled to have the kids.
Oh, and we all wanted to stay there.
And you loved the house too, though.
Yes,
didn't
and we
you?
were treated like royalty. For and every morning Grandpa would come in and say, what's your order today? He wanted me to say
And
a Baby
he'd get
Ruth
it
candy
for 'em.
bar.
Oh!
And I'd say, Baby Ruth candy bar. No wonder I had cavities. But anyway, every morning then I would get a Baby Ruth. Every time I see a Baby Ruth candy bar, I think of that.
I was working at John's, store ready to wear,
Right.
and this little girl brought a pair of mittens in. The mittens were too small, I think.
Uh-huh.
And I said, where did you get this mittens? And she said, Mr. Cattell bought them for me. She never realized that
He was your
I was a
father.
Cattell.
Oh.
And I
he
said,
didn't
oh,
tell
that's
anybody.
nice. And I changed her phone. And I never mentioned it to my dad. No, I never mentioned it to anybody.
He just was so generous to
Yeah,
people.
he was so,
Yeah, but
and he'd
the
always
people-
have a case of pop. And he'd put it out on the floor there in the yard, and he knew the kids would come and get it.
Oh, Mom.
One time I stole the whole case.
Well, were were your parents, were they born in the United States, or were they born in Europe? Or
My dad, I think they both were. No, my mother wasn't. She was
Grandpa Cattell was born in Canada.
Dad
in
was
Canada? Oh, really? Oh.
And then he met Grandma, and haven't you told me? He met Grandma in Clarion.
Iowa.
Yeah,
Right,
Clarion,
yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah.
in Wright County.
Yeah, that's right.
But she was born in Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
And she had so many ideas ahead of her time, Diane. Like, she'd have the tea kettle steam,
Uh-huh.
and she had naturally curly blonde hair.
Uh-huh.
She'd have the tea kettle steam, and then she'd hold her hair over the steam to fluff it up.
Oh.
Remember that, Mother?
Yeah. All the Meekers had curly hair but me.
Oh.
And she always felt so bad that she always gave me money for a permanent.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I was going to ask you. You remember, you know the historical person Ezra Meeker? How are we related to him?
Ezra Meeker?
Ezra Meeker?
Well, he was my mother's father, and he was hurt in the service.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know that
I
name
mean-
from history, and I knew that somehow we were related, but I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because, see, how was that, Mother? People were volunteering to go to war,
Yeah.
and he promised,
Nancy.
Nancy,
That's grandma.
the grandmother,
Uh-huh.
that he would not enlist because they had 4 kids. And he said he would. Well, then you know how the fever built up and everything. So Mother's often told me the story. So one evening she heard them all say, "Oh, hooray for Ezra Meeker." And she knew he had enlisted.
Oh.
So he went away to war and came back, and then they had 4 more kids, didn't they?
They had you and Aunt Clara.
No, they had, well, not me, but they had 4 more anyway. Aunt Ormy, didn't they?
Well, she was with the older bunch, wasn't she?
Oh, I don't know, Mother. I've kind of lost track there. But anyway, yeah, Ezra.
Wow.
And Aunt Clara was a country school teacher, and she rode a horse in to take her examination. It was so snowy.
Oh my goodness.
And
Wow.
Mother, a little girl, would walk on that country road to school. Well, now, it wouldn't be safe
All by
now.
yourself. No.
For a
My
little-
mother was a beautiful woman.
Oh.
She was. And she was a businesswoman.
Oh, that's where you got your business mind from.
I don't know,
Uh,
but my dad would sell the horses today. Then they'd say to me, "Oh, by gum, you got to take me down. I want my horses back."
I know, he hated to part with his horses. And he'd sell them, and then he'd make Mother go and get it. He'd say, "I want my horse back, you can have your money."
Oh no!
He was a determined man.
Oh, what an
I said he
affectionate
wanted to go
man.
to the hospital,
Uh-huh.
and I was up taking care of him. And I said, "You don't need to go to the hospital because I'll take care of you." And he said, "You just don't want me to spend the money." Well, then it was time he really got sick. I had to put him in the hospital. And he said, "I'm not going. You just want to get rid of me." So that's the way he worked.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh,
Wow.
he did. He was...
I often wonder, Diane, how I ever walked out and got married. I wonder how I ever left her.
an only child.
Being an only child, right?
Yeah.
Did you know Grandpa, like when you were growing up? Did you know him for, like, when you were children?
Yeah, well, we used to go down to Clarion
Uh-huh.
quite often. And
Where were you born again, Mom? What town?
Wright County.
Wright County, Clarion, okay. And was Grandpa born there too?
No, I think he was born in Ayrshire.
My dad was an Englishman.
Well, how about Grandpa McNamara, WJ? Where was he born?
Every James,
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
I married.
Right.
Well, he was born in Emma's, around on a farm, I guess, and then.
Near Ayrshire. Ayrshire is near
Ayrshire.
Emmitsburg.
Yeah.
Ayrshire. Okay. So when did you meet each other?
Well, I went out to stay with Annie Nelson, and your grandpa was in college at Fort Dodge,
Oh.
and he finished business school there.
And that's when you met him.
Well, he came up to,
Oh, I love it.
I don't know,
Oh.
but I often wonder how I ever left my folks.
Because you were young.
And he was such a wonderful man, and you loved him, and he loved you.
He was a
and-
good man, a very good man.
Oh, one of the best ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Wow. Well, Mom, where did his parents, were they born in the United States or?
The
The
McNamara's?
McNamara's, yeah. They
I
were
think
born
they
in
were.
Iowa too?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But that's the way life is.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, when did you actually move to Emmitsburg? When you
When
got
I was
married?
3 years old,
When you were 3?
we moved from Wright County up to Palo Alto.
Oh.
M.L. Brown.
I get,
When you
I
were
get 2 years.
Oh.
So my mother, whatever she
Now, the
wanted,
last
he got
year,
her.
she has lived out in the new
She
part.
wanted, had the well cleared down
She
from the
did
farm, by the
27 years
barn,
in the
and
old part,
she asked if she could have the well
which is
moved.
only 13
He
miles.
did.
And he did it. Oh, they had a wonderful marriage, didn't they?
Yeah.
Paid all her
Yes.
bills.
Oh,
Took her
God.
to the bank for her social security.
Oh.
And then they raised Ben, you know, that boy.
Oh, I was thinking about that, and I couldn't quite remember. He wasn't related at all, though,
No,
was he?
he wasn't related.
But they raised him as if he was their son.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they thought I was
Well,
lost.
Oh,
Her
what
best friend.
nice.
Because I had my horse, I wasn't lost.
Oh.
Left.
Did you
town
really have
and
to
went to
walk a long
Illinois
ways
with
to your
Jessie.
country school
So
all
the
the
bills
time?
that
Mile and a
come,
half.
the only thing to do is to sell.
Then I rode a horse a long time.
A new one built out there. So
When you
Bill
were,
has just
did you
taken
live on the
over
farm,
everything.
on a farm when you first
Yeah,
moved
the
there?
Brown farm.
Oh, okay.
M.L. Brown.
Okay, I didn't remember that
Yeah.
that was the farm. Oh, okay.
And then when we
I
bought
find
a
myself going to
farm,
school
Uh-huh.
saying,
WJ and I bought the farm.
Uh-huh.
It was the same one that I herded cattle on.
Oh, when you were little?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, when you were married, at first, you had the farm to run, plus you had the business to run, right?
You take
Well,
care
yeah,
of her,
the
or-
Grandpa McNamara died,
Which,
and so
they
then
said,
we,
that's only right. So
well,
let's
Bill
steal
McNamara, they called him,
everything.
when I
Uh-huh.
married.
Right.
Yeah, then we went out on the farm for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And your mother and
And
Lorraine
absolutely.
were born while we were still on the farm.
Oh,
Yeah.
What, you never had any of your
And she
babies
doesn't
in a
realize
hospital, did you? They
No.
all were born?
Did she?
I
At
never knew
home.
what a hospital was till.
Did you, did you have a midwife, or who, did anybody help you give birth to
But
them?
yet.
Well,
Did you have?
yeah, Grandma McNamara was awful good
Oh.
about that. And then I had Burnett McCain, you remember?
I remember her,
Yeah.
and she helped you, and
Yeah,
then you just had them right there at home.
yeah,
My
right there at home.
Goodness,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, like you said, this last year, it was the first time you'd ever been in the hospital in your
Yeah.
whole life.
Diane is
Huh.
so sweet.
Oh.
She did, she really
And I
is.
don't like it today.
Oh, I don't blame you. I haven't been in
I
there
hope I
anytime.
never go back to the
I
hospital.
don't think you will.
I hope
You
not.
healed yourself
Hope I'll
very
die
well.
in my tracks
Oh,
and be done.
oh, no.
I
Oh,
know, it's
God.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Did you know, looking back on all those years in Emmitsburg, did you have any favorite places that you like to go? Any?
I think she's.
Oh, I
the
don't know.
lake.
We always had parties.
Yeah, yeah.
Martha,
And then we had the lake to swim in. And
Oh,
you met
with it.
George was telling us how they're cleaning up that lake and what is it called, 5 mile lake or?
Medium.
Okay.
So,
I think they changed the name, I think they called it the 5 Island Lake.
5 Island Lake, that's right,
Yeah.
that's right. He
But
said they
it
were.
used to be called
yeah.
Medium.
Oh, it used to be called medium.
Yeah, that's the way it was.
Wow.
And I had an Uncle John